In the previous tutorial, we coded this button so when it was clicked or the cursor was placed over it, something would appear in the text box, a message then. Now, a more appropriate way of actually getting a message across to the user is to use a message box. First of all, before we do that, just to point out, when you open up a project, for example the one we've been working on, over on the right hand side in the Solution Explorer, if you actually want to get to the code without having to double click on something, maybe to instigate another sub procedure, if you click on the arrow which is there, form 1 is actually the form, as in the visual side of things where we can format it and make it look the way we want to, and then underneath is the code. Now I've only had to click on it once and it'll bring me to this point here. Now, what I want to do in this particular video is to actually just get a message box to appear once I've clicked on the button to say stop pressing me. Now, the rest of these procedures, now I don't want to actually get rid of them as such, and sometimes you'll find as you're making a longer, doing a bigger coding section, and you might have to kind of just test certain parts of it. So something called a comment you can use to kind of hide code. So just in front of where the code starts, I'm just going to put that little icon there. I can't remember what it's called. And as I do that, you can see it turns green, which means that it's still present, but it actually won't be acted upon. So if I run the code now, if I actually run the program, pressing start, none of these will actually happen at all, okay, because I've basically frozen them out. Now, all I'm going to need to do for the message box to appear is to get rid of that particular bit of font which we have there, that bit of code, the textbox1.text code that is, and replace it with message box. And as you can see, as I start to type it actually comes up, and within brackets then I'm actually going to say what it is I want to say. Stop pressing here, stop pressing me, I wanted to say. Okay, now if I actually just run that as it is, and we're going to come back to make adjustments to it, the code should be fine. The syntax, it looks like it's been running okay. And now when I press submit, I get a message box appearing, which is the name of the project. Stop pressing me. Okay. Now, great, it works, but it's not kind of the type of message box you expect to see on a Windows application in particular. And to adjust it, so if I just stop the code a moment, you can actually make adjustments to your code. So I've put a comma at the end of it, so you can actually decide what type of message box is going to appear. Now, as you can see, I've got this big list which is appearing, and they all start with message box style dot, and then I can kind of have a look at what I could do. So like the exclamation, as you can imagine, then will actually well, it'll be a different style of message box which will appear. So if I press submit, and you can see the exclamation point appears at that stage, stop pressing me. It looks a little bit more suitable. Now, that again, that's fine, but sometimes you might want to have, if I just stop the code again, there we go. Sometimes I might want to have something where a number of options might appear. Okay, so it might like have the OK cancel thing on there. I'm sure that's one of the guys here. Alright, sorry, I've got to start typing the code in again. So OK cancel, there we go. And then if I run that one more time, and I press the button which I'm not supposed to press, it then appears with OK cancel, and then you can actually do code on this, depending on what it is which is pressed will actually make something else happen. So if you press OK, that will do something. If you press cancel, that will do something else, but that's something we'll come to at a later stage.